Hello YouTube, Canadian Edge here, and I have another knife to review. I believe this is a first for me. This is a Kizer. I don't remember having any Kizers in my possession, either through owning or through borrowing. So I believe this is the first Kizer I've had in my possession to work with. And this little guy is the Kizer V3 Vigor. It has a blade length of 3 inches. Open, it is 6.875 inches, and closed, it is 3.875 inches long. The steel on this, it is an N690. It's a drop point with a bit of an interesting grind. It's got a bit of a hollow grind up until this point, and then it's a flat kind of grind there. So yeah, it gives it an interesting look. The weight of this, it is 4.11 ounces. So a little weightier, although it really doesn't feel like it. The handle, it is a G10 with a little bit of texturing in there. The stainless steel liners, and one of them is skeletonized. And I don't know if you can see that. If I flip it over, you probably see it easier. So that one is skeletonized. Of course, the one with the liner lock on it is not. The pocket clip on it, it is a reversible tip up carry, so makes it ambidextrous, and it does have the dual thumb stud for opening. And I mentioned it is a liner lock. Has jimping on the back, which I like. I'm a fan of the jimping, and it also has a lanyard hole at the back to place your lanyard, obviously. Now I believe that the pivot on this is Teflon and bronze washers, and it is fairly smooth. It snaps open good. I did put a little bit of pivot lubrication on there after I got it. Not that it necessarily needed it. It opened out of the box quite well, but just to try and make it a little bit smoother. And there is no blade play up and down, side to side on there. So it sits in there nice and solid. And also, I believe it lines up down the middle. So that's nice. When you pay money for your knives, you like them to be fit properly. So let's do a size comparison on this guy. As I said, it is a smaller knife, so you got the Benchmade bug out, which you can see has a little bit of length on this. The Ontario Rat 2, a little bit longer. And of course, when you get a couple of the bigger knives, out of practice. I'll have to work with the Tenacious to get that flip working again. And you can see the Cogent and the Tenacious. Quite a bit of size difference there. So it is in the smaller knife bracket, and that means that it's going to have a smaller handle. So my medium hand, you can see it just fits in there just. So big hands, you're going to notice that that it is a small handle, but it does the trick. And let's see, let's try the sharpness on this and see what happens. You can see that it is definitely sharp. Cuts through the paper with no problems. And let's try the zip tie. The N690 is a better quality steel, so it might take a little more to sharpen than some of your budget steels, but it will hold an edge longer. And I went through zip tie without any trouble at all. Through the fake paracord, oh yeah, there was basically no effort involved in there. And same with the nylon cord, it just slices right through there. So it does have a nice sharp blade out of the box. You can put it to use very quickly, and that's a good thing. When I first got this, I was like, I'm not a real fan of the green handle, but it was the only thing available at that time in this knife. But I did like the aesthetics of the knife. I like the profile of the blade. You've got the two different grinds on there, which I don't know if you can kind of see right there. And then you've got the swedge on top, so it gives it an interesting look. The handle is pretty generic, but it works. I like it. It was mostly just the color, but the more I've had it, the more I've got used to the color, and I don't mind it. Actually, I kind of like the color now that I've had the knife for a while. And so the aesthetics on it, I enjoyed. The ergonomics on it, they're pretty decent. Not 100% the most comfortable, being it is a smaller knife. You tend to push and you feel the back end rising because it has a little bit of, or it's a shorter handle. So the ergonomics, while they're decent, they're not like really, really good, but it's comfortable. You could, you work with this for a while and it wouldn't be an issue. The grip on it, it is a comfortable grip. The pocket clip is nice because it's a flatter pocket clip. You don't have all the pointy, sticky out parts. And it fits in the pocket really well. So that's a nice plus too. It's a nice slim knife, so it fits your pocket quite well, and it's not 100% deep carry. You can see that you do have a little bit of it showing when it is in your pocket, but when you put your hand in your pocket, it doesn't get in the way and doesn't cause problems with your hand. So it is good that way. The handle, while it does have a little texture, I would like to see a little more grip. I don't think you can see the texture on this, but it could be a little slippery under certain conditions. And the pivot isn't as easy as I would like. It works. It's definitely not a drop point or drop close pivot. It's smooth enough. It just, a little bit of stiffness there in the pivot, but it opens fine. And closing, you just have to give it a little extra help. And with the jimping too, I'd like the jimping to be a little more forward, at least to the thumb studs. Just so, because I push more here on the blade than I do back here, but the jimping ends here. So I'd like to see the jimping go a little bit further on the blade and maybe not quite so far back, because I'm not going to push on the knife back here. I'm going to push up here if I'm slicing stuff. So those are just a couple things on the knife that I like and dislike about the knife. But as far as carrying it as an everyday carry, it works well. I carried it for about a week and opened different packages and things with it, and it works great as an EDC. It is a little pricier because it does have the Kizer name on it. So I got this one, I believe it was on sale for about $67 at House of Knives. And you can find them at House of Knives and also Warriors and Wonders here on the west coast of Canada. But they do have a little pricier price tag on them. But it's a well-built knife. I think you would get lots of use out of this knife. The M690 is nice steel. So yeah, it's good quality. It would make a great EDC for anybody that's looking for a smaller EDC. So that is the Kizer V3 Vigor. All right, thank you for joining me on this review. Hit the like, leave me a comment. Love hearing from you. I will get back to you on the comments. If you're new, hit the subscribe. And we'll be doing another review here in a couple days. Until then, you stay safe and stay sharp.